Qur'an lessons. The millionaire farmer who lost everything overnight. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All praise is due to Allah, the most merciful, the most just. Welcome back to Wisdom from the Minbar, where the Qur'an speaks and hearts awaken. Today, we begin a story that shakes the soul. A story about a man who had everything: wealth, gardens, success, admiration from his community. A millionaire farmer, blessed with lands so fertile that water flowed beneath his feet and fruits covered every corner of his estate. He believed he had built his paradise on earth. He thought his wealth made him untouchable. He believed success came from his intelligence, not Allah. He mocked the poor and looked down on those who reminded him to be grateful. But what happens when a blessing becomes a test of arrogance? What happens when a man forgets the giver of every gift? What happens when wealth becomes a reason for disbelief? Allah tells us in Surah Al-Kahf of a man who lost everything overnight. No fire, no war, no thieves, just a single command from Allah. And what was once green became dust. What once stood tall collapsed into the earth. Riches vanished as if they never existed. His story is a divine reminder for us today. Wealth doesn't measure success, character does. Blessings can be removed as easily as they come. Gratitude is the key to protecting what we love. Before we begin this journey, I have a simple request for you. If you believe every blessing comes from Allah, then, like this video, subscribe to Wisdom from the Minbar. Share this message so others may remember gratitude before regret. Because this story is not just history, it is a mirror for every one of us. A reminder that arrogance destroys, but humility protects. Let us now open our hearts and explore how a millionaire farmer became a man with nothing but regret, and how his story can save us from the same fate. The blessed land and the farmer of great wealth. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There once was a man whose story Allah preserved in the Qur'an, a man whose wealth was so vast, so impressive, and so admired that people would stare in awe when he walked by. Allah blessed him with everything one could desire, and more. He was not just a farmer. He was a millionaire farmer of his time. He owned gardens filled with fruits of every kind, date palms reaching high into the sky, rivers of fresh water flowing right through his fields, surrounding land that looked like paradise on earth. Allah describes his two gardens in Surah Al-Kahf, 18:32-33. We provided them with 2 gardens of grapevines and surrounded them with palm trees, and placed crops in between. Both gardens produced their harvest in full, never failing in any way. Imagine living a life where money keeps coming in, land keeps producing, comfort is guaranteed. People admire you everywhere you go. He had everything, so much that he forgot where it came from. The turning point begins. As his wealth increased, his humility decreased. At first, he would mention Allah. He would thank Allah. He would give to the poor. He would remember that blessings are a trust from the most merciful. But over time, his tongue changed. His heart hardened. His ego grew. He began to believe, this success is because of me, my intelligence, my effort, my power, my planning. He began to look down on others, especially those who had less. Even his own companion, a believer who feared Allah, became someone he dismissed and argued with arrogantly. He started to say, I am richer than you. I have more power than you. My business, my farms, my success, it will never end. The Quran tells us he claimed his paradise would last forever, even in the afterlife, as if Allah had no control over his future. He worshipped wealth instead of the one who gave it. The warning signs ignored. His humble friend reminded him gently, my brother, say mashallah. Praise the one who gave you everything. What if Allah takes it from you? What if one day you wake up and it's all gone? But the millionaire farmer laughed. Impossible. I have built something too strong to ever fail. He thought he had secured his future, but he didn't realize the real security is only with Allah. And sometimes, Allah gives someone everything they want, not as a blessing, but as a final test, before a punishment that comes suddenly, without warning, overnight. He went to sleep proud, thinking tomorrow would be even more profitable than today. He had no idea that tonight Allah would make a decision that would change everything. If you're ready, Habibi, I will continue immediately with the man of gardens and gold. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Imagine a man blessed with everything the world dreams of. Lush gardens, flowing rivers, fruits in every season, beautiful homes, and great wealth. His life was full of comfort. A millionaire farmer, respected by people and envied by many. This is the story from Surah Al-Kahf, a story not just about wealth, but about the attitude of the heart. Palm trees gardens. Allah blessed him with 2 giant gardens, filled with grapes, surrounded by palm trees, flowing with water, a perfect system built for success. His land produced harvest after harvest, more than he could ever count. His business flourished. People praised him for his abundance, his pride. But here is where the danger begins. Blessings are a test, and this man failed it. Instead of thanking Allah, he believed the wealth was a result of his intelligence, his hard work, and his superiority over others. He began to speak with arrogance. I don't think this wealth will ever end. I don't think the day of judgment will come. Even if I am returned to Allah, I will surely be given better than this. He looked at his riches and thought he was invincible. His companion warns him. But this man had a companion, a believer, humble, sincere, grateful. He told him gently, "Why didn't you say, Mashallah, la quwwata illa billah? What Allah wills happens. There is no power except by Allah." A reminder that success does not come from us. Success comes through us, but from Allah. The believer warned him, "What if Allah takes your garden away? What if one morning you wake up and nothing remains?" But the millionaire laughed. He thought wealth was eternal. He thought paradise was already in his hands. The lesson begins here. This chapter teaches us, when wealth grows, gratitude must grow too. Arrogance makes wealth a curse instead of a blessing. The biggest poverty is forgetting Allah. The real test is not when you have nothing. The real test is when you have everything. Allah was watching his heart, and soon a powerful reminder was coming. Because when someone trusts their wealth more than their Lord, Allah shows them that earthly paradise can disappear overnight. Wealth without gratitude. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Brothers and sisters, let us step into the life of this man who was once a symbol of success. He owned what many people could only dream of: endless farms, flowing rivers, beautiful gardens filled with fruits and crops ripe for harvest. His wealth was not hidden. It was so massive that anyone who walked past his land would pause in awe. Green fields that stretched to the horizon, palm trees heavy with dates and fruits, water channels flowing like small rivers, workers and servants everywhere. The entire town said, "This is the richest man among us." But what was missing? Gratitude, humility, a heart that remembers Allah. Instead of thanking Allah for his blessings, he admired himself. He looked at his gardens and said proudly, "All of this is mine. I built this by my own hands." He thought his success came from his intelligence, his business skills, his hard work. But he forgot one key truth. Everything you have is a gift from Allah, and the one who gives can take away in a blink. His wealth became his idol. His farms became his confidence. His success became his God. When a humble believer, his friend, reminded him, "Why not say Inshallah? Why not give in charity? Why not thank Allah who gave you all this?" He mocked him. He replied arrogantly, "My wealth will never end." Subhanallah. How many people today say the same? My job is secure. My business will keep growing. My account is full. I don't need anyone, not even God. This is the seed of destruction. The moment when a person believes they don't need Allah anymore. The Qur'an teaches us, indeed, the human being becomes rebellious when he thinks himself self-sufficient. Surah Al-Alaq 96:6-7. His friend tried again. Fear Allah. Do not forget the poor. Do not let arrogance destroy your blessings. But the wealthy man laughed. He thought gratitude was unnecessary. He thought charity was for the weak. He thought faith was for those who had nothing. He depended on his wealth, not on Allah. And that, my brothers and sisters, is the most dangerous mistake a believer can make. Then the moment arrived. A silent night, the stars in the sky, everyone asleep, and suddenly the earth shook beneath his fields. A mysterious storm swept through his gardens. Rivers overflowed, walls collapsed, every tree bent and snapped. By the time the sun rose, everything was gone, black, ruined, destroyed. Not a single fruit remained. This man who once boasted, "My wealth will never end," was now standing with nothing but tears in his eyes. He cried out, "I wish I had never partnered others with my Lord." But now, it was too late. His story became a Qur'anic warning for all humanity. Never let blessings turn into arrogance. Never forget the one who gave. When Allah takes, He takes completely. When Allah teaches, He teaches deeply. And when Allah warns, He warns out of mercy. In the next chapter, we will uncover the greatest lesson hidden inside this tragedy and how this Quranic story is repeating every single day in our modern world. Stay with me. The warning signs they ignored. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. As the two men continued their debate, something began to shift, not in the farms yet, but in the hearts. Allah teaches us that corruption begins inside before it appears outside. The arrogant man grew more boastful every day. "Look at my wealth. It will never perish. Even if I return to my Lord, He will give me better than this." His friend, the humble believer, warned him, "Do not deny the one who created you from dust, then from a drop of fluid, then shaped you as a man." Surah Al-Kahf, 1837. He advised him to say instead, "Masha Allah la quwwata illa billah." What Allah wills happens, and there is no power except through Allah. These weren't just religious words. They were a shield, protecting the heart from arrogance and forgetfulness. But the arrogant man laughed. He walked proudly through his plantations. His fountains flowed stronger than ever. His storage houses overflowed with harvest. His workers rushed to please him. He believed he had achieved independence from Allah. And that is one of the greatest illusions a human can have. The sudden loss and the test of faith, 8 to 10 minutes. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. In our previous chapters, we saw how the millionaire farmer built his wealth through hard work, planning, and blessings from Allah. But as the Qur'an teaches, worldly possessions are a test, and Allah often places trials to examine our faith and gratitude. One fateful night, everything changed. A storm, more powerful than anything he had seen, swept through his lands. Crops were destroyed, his animals lost, and his investments wiped out. His wealth, accumulated over years of effort, vanished almost overnight. Imagine the shock and despair that struck him. Any ordinary person would feel overwhelmed, angry, or even bitter. But here, the Quranic lesson begins. True faith is revealed not when life is easy, but when adversity strikes. The millionaire farmer could have cursed his fate, blamed his neighbors, or lost hope. Instead, he remembered the Qur'an's teachings. Do not grieve, for Allah is with those who are patient. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:153. He turned to prayer, not as a ritual, but as a genuine plea for guidance and acceptance. His first realization was gratitude. Even in loss, he recognized the blessings he still had: family, health, and faith. The Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Hadid, "Know that the life of this world is but play and diversion, and the home of the hereafter is better for those who fear Allah." 57:20. With this perspective, he began to reflect. Had he relied too much on wealth for security? Had he neglected the spiritual aspect of his life while pursuing worldly gain? Through this trial, he learned that faith is the true wealth, and that material possessions are temporary. The loss became a lesson, guiding him to rebuild not just his farms, but his life centered around Allah's guidance, humility, and patience. He also realized the importance of helping others in need. Once a millionaire who thought wealth was power, he now saw that charity, kindness, and generosity are treasures that never vanish. The storm, while devastating, became a turning point, a divine reminder that every blessing can be taken, but the heart that trusts Allah remains rich. As we reflect on this story, ask yourself, how do we react when sudden losses strike? Do we cling to worldly possessions or turn to Allah for guidance? Are we using wealth as a tool for good or simply accumulating it as an illusion of security? The millionaire farmer's experience is a timeless reminder. Faith, patience, and gratitude are the true measures of wealth in Islam, far beyond gold, land, or livestock. Rebuilding with faith and patience. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. In the previous chapter, we witnessed the sudden loss of the millionaire farmer's wealth and the first lessons he learned: patience, gratitude, and turning to Allah during trials. Now, let us explore how he began to rebuild his life, guided by the Qur'an and his renewed faith. The Qur'an teaches, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." Surah Ash-Shar 94:6. The farmer understood that while the storm destroyed his material wealth, it could never destroy his faith. He began reconstructing his life step by step, starting with what he still possessed: knowledge, experience, and his unwavering trust in Allah. He returned to the land, not with the arrogance of a wealthy man, but with humility and a mindset of stewardship rather than ownership. Each seed he planted, each tree he nurtured, became a reminder that sustenance is from Allah and wealth is a blessing, not a guarantee. He also adopted new habits inspired by Qur'anic guidance: charity and generosity, even from small means, knowing that giving purifies wealth and multiplies blessings. Surah Al-Baqarah 2-261. Seeking counsel and collaboration with others, understanding that wisdom and community are more valuable than hoarded wealth. Reflection and daily gratitude, as the Quran reminds us to be thankful in times of ease and hardship alike. Surah Ibrahim 14-7. Over time, the farmer's fields began to flourish again, but this time, his wealth was accompanied by spiritual richness. He experienced a profound sense of satisfaction, realizing that material loss is insignificant compared to inner growth and closeness to Allah. The Quran emphasizes, "Do not think that those who are killed in the cause of Allah are dead. Rather, they're alive with their Lord, receiving provision." Surah Al-Imran 3:169. Though the farmer did not face death, the principle applies. Trials and losses in this life, when faced with patience and faith, become a source of spiritual provision and reward. He also became a source of inspiration for his community. People admired his resilience, humility, and unwavering trust in Allah. His story spread, teaching others that no matter how devastating the loss, faith and patience can rebuild lives stronger than before. As we reflect, how often do we let material losses shake our faith? Are we prepared to face trials with patience, gratitude, and trust in Allah? Can we see adversity as an opportunity for inner growth rather than despair? This chapter of The Millionaire Farmer teaches us that rebuilding is not just about wealth, but about transforming the heart and soul. Wealth comes and goes, but faith and reliance on Allah are eternal treasures. Lessons in gratitude and true wealth. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. In the previous chapter, we explored how the millionaire farmer began rebuilding his life with patience, faith, and reliance on Allah. Now, in Chapter 5, we focus on the deeper lessons of gratitude and understanding true wealth. The Quran teaches, "And he gave you from all you asked of him, and if you should count the favor of Allah, you could not enumerate them." Surah Ibrahim 14:34. The farmer realized that despite losing his material wealth, he had countless blessings that were far more valuable than gold or land. He still had life and health to start again, knowledge and skills to cultivate his land, family and community who supported him through the hardship, faith in Allah, the ultimate source of security and provision. This realization transformed his mindset. Previously, he measured success in wealth, but now he understood that true richness comes from gratitude, humility, and faith. He began teaching these lessons to his community. Wealth is a trust from Allah, not a permanent possession. Trials and losses are opportunities to strengthen faith and character. Generosity, even in hardship, multiplies blessings in ways material accumulation never can. One day, a neighbor asked him, "How can you be happy after losing so much?" He replied, "I lost everything that I thought was mine, only to realize I never truly owned anything. What remains is my faith, my family, and my gratitude, and these are priceless." The Quran emphasizes this principle in Surah Al-Hadid. Know that the life of this world is but play and diversion, and the home of the hereafter is best for those who fear Allah. 57:20. The farmer began sharing small portions of his remaining wealth with the needy. He discovered that giving brings joy and multiplies blessings, even when you have little. This practice created a sense of community and reliance on Allah's mercy rather than solely on material resources. The story of the millionaire farmer shows us that material loss can reveal spiritual wealth. When worldly possessions vanish, the heart's true richness, gratitude, patience, humility, and faith becomes visible. As we reflect, are we counting our blessings, even when life feels difficult? Do we understand that wealth is temporary and faith is eternal? How can we transform our losses into lessons that strengthen our hearts and guide our actions? Chapter 5 teaches a timeless lesson. True wealth is measured not by what you own, but by the strength of your faith, the gratitude in your heart, and the generosity you show to others. Triumph through faith and divine wisdom. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. In the previous chapters, we saw how the millionaire farmer endured sudden loss, rebuilt his life with patience, and embraced gratitude as his true wealth. Now, in this final chapter, we explore the culmination of his journey, triumph not measured in gold, but in faith, wisdom, and legacy. The farmer realized that worldly wealth is temporary and fleeting, but spiritual wealth is eternal. His journey of loss had reshaped him completely. He no longer defined success by possessions, but by how closely he lived according to Allah's guidance. The Quran teaches, "Whoever relies upon Allah, then he is sufficient for him." Surah At-Talaq 65:3. He applied this wisdom in every aspect of his life. In farming, he relied on Allah for sustenance rather than worrying about the outcome. In relationships, he nurtured kindness, forgiveness, and community bonds. In charity, he gave freely, knowing that what is spent in Allah's cause returns manifold. His story became a living lesson for his neighbors and community. People who once envied his wealth now admired his character, resilience, and faith. His life demonstrated that trials are not punishments, but opportunities to grow closer to Allah. One day, reflecting on his journey, he said, "I lost everything, yet I gained everything that truly matters: faith, patience, gratitude, and purpose. These are treasures no one can take away." The Quran reminds us, "Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves." Surah Ar-Raid 13:11. The farmer's story is proof of this principle. He transformed adversity into spiritual strength, fear into trust, and loss into a legacy of wisdom. By the end of his journey, his life was richer than ever, not because of gold or property, but because he had understood the Quran's timeless lessons about patience, faith, and divine guidance. As we conclude, reflect on your own life. How do you react when trials strip you of comfort or possessions? Can you find gratitude and trust in Allah, even in the darkest moments? Are you seeking true wealth, faith, patience, and spiritual growth, rather than chasing fleeting worldly gain? Mallam JIJI reminds us through this story, what is lost in the material world may be replaced by a wealth far greater. The wealth of a heart aligned with Allah, a life lived with purpose, and blessings that endure beyond this world. This story of the millionaire farmer is timeless, a lesson for all believers that faith is the ultimate treasure, and trials are the means through which Allah refines the heart. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. We have reached the end of this incredible story. The journey of the millionaire farmer who lost everything overnight but found true wealth in faith, patience, and gratitude. This story reminds us that material possessions are temporary, but the treasures of the heart, faith, knowledge, and trust in Allah, are eternal. Key lessons to reflect on. Trials and sudden losses are part of Allah's plan to test and strengthen our faith. True wealth is measured by gratitude, patience, and reliance on Allah, not by money or property. Acts of kindness, generosity, and humility create blessings that never vanish, even when worldly wealth is lost. Now, I invite you to take action. Like this video if this story inspired you to reflect on the true meaning of wealth and success. Comment below, share which lesson touched your heart most, or how you apply patience and gratitude in your own life. Share this video with family, friends, and your community to spread these timeless Quranic lessons. Subscribe to Wisdom from the Minbar and turn on notifications so you never miss more powerful stories from the Qur'an. Remember, brothers and sisters, life's true treasures are found in the heart, in faith, and in obedience to Allah. No storm, loss, or trial can take these away if we hold on to them sincerely. I am your brother, Mallam JIJI, and I will continue bringing you Quranic stories and lessons that inspire, guide, and empower your faith journey.